page 7 of the prayer book, please. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms, in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of gods, protector's heart, to tip of this fresh, pure white heap, curd like cloud, O Lobsang Drapa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples, In space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit. Feel for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory, outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted 3 vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned mundane concerns, made life essential. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable Gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, crave loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Lobsang Dragpa's essential teachings specially shine forever. Mig tse wei te chen rei zig, dream kem pei wang po jam pel yang, du pung ma lu jom se sang wei dag, gang chen ke pe su gen song kapa, lob sandra pe sabla so wadeb. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remains steadfast. Homage to the exalted 3 jewels. Thus have I heard at one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha and Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomenon called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the 5 aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence, 5 aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty, without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element, and so forth, up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance, and so forth, up to no aging and death, no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the 3 times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata gate gate paragate parasomgate bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gadavas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for your children, homage to the host of the 3 places, Dakinis, Akasama. Tayata om gate gate paragate parasomgate bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted 3 jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the 4 Maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shante Gurye Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here right now. Saji Peki Jushing Meta Tram Ri Rabling Ji Ni De Gampadi Sange Zindu Meteoa Idra Chapawatu so idam guru ratna mandala kam niryatayami Chomda songi chomnala chaju pardu dagdi kapsuchi dagi chonyenge pesonamki drola penchi sange drupa shows Chongde songi chomnala chaju pardu kapsuchi dagi chonyenge pesonamki drola penchi sange drupa shows Songe songi chomnala jagju pardu dagdi kapsuchi dagi chonyenge pesonamki drola penchir sange drupasho.
Good morning, everyone. How's the weather outside? It's good? Perfect? It's a little bit humid? A little bit, right? But not bad. Anyway, it's wonderful. We all able to come to pray and a little bit meditation and chanting. When we talk about Buddhism, sometimes, it makes us feel more scared. Talk about all the, impermanent, right? We don't feel everything is impermanent. We think all things permanent. But reality is impermanent. Then we say, why we have to talk all the time impermanent? If you know the nature of the samsara, then we can also prepare to what's happening. This is one of the purpose to be talk about all the time, permanent. Okay? Then usually we Buddhism say, I don't know if it's true or not, in order to study like special about bodhicitta, the person have to be very good merit. Otherwise, it's not able to study. Even you are interested to study, you love to study, but there any kind of situation, the obstacles to take away. Like study emptiness, study Buddhism, bodhicitta is we need also very fortunate person. Otherwise, even your motivation, but there's so always something happen. Okay? Because when you have realization, bodhicitta, then you are really close to achieve enlightenment. You are very into the enlightened place. Sometimes we say, when you take refuge, you say, I'm into the Buddhism. Yes. Still you have more to go away. Therefore, when you study, or your realization, or you're more interested for bodhicitta, then you really enter the, enlightened. Also, you really get out the samsara way. Sometimes we talk about the benefit of the bodhicitta, then the nature of the samsara. We have some feeling. How is that? Goosebump? When you have some goosebump, it's a good sign. Then always, yeah, they talk about that, yeah, I know that, yeah. Like same things, you hear all the time. You say, oh, yeah, I know that. It doesn't much to, change our mind. Therefore, sometimes we need to also, how we are very fortunate person. I'm able to study about bodhicitta. That place too, I can go pray, study. That book, I can use the book. Like that is okay. This is at leisures and 10 adornments. We all have that. If we miss one, then we are not able to study or about bodhicitta. Always bodhicitta. We have studied this book like Guide to the Bodhisattva Way. I don't remember, it's 2014 something. His Holiness Dalai Lama gave the teaching and the Saranat. I was attend that time he very serious. I received this teaching also the Saranat, the Lama or one of the Nyima Lama, Kurukulla Lama Tenley Janso. He received the teaching that. Since he also received teaching of the Saranat, since he always take book with him, like daily, pray. Like you guys checking the notebook. Do you have a calendar? How is this? Planner or journal book? How is it? Journal, right? Like that. He said, take this book with you when you go back your home to the daily practice. Also, when I have more experience with bodhicitta, since I received the teaching from the Kurukulla Lama Tenley Janso, and I practice, then I have very strong experience like bodhicitta. Because dharamsa dhamsudo sanga pena shansum tolambadi tosa resi. And tumbanye tosa yadana palam tosa da kale kawarchina samsam shansum tolambadi tosa resi samsam yungu songdo.
So this is what His Holiness mentioned. So His Holiness Dalai Lama, who received this teaching directly from his guru, Kurukulla Lama Tenley Janso. So he thinks that he might be at the beginning stage of the Bodhisattva path, not maybe in the superior path, on the higher path, but ordinary, the first path, like the path of accumulation. And he said he received this teaching on the Guide to the Bodhisattva Way of Life, like 40 years ago. So after 40 years, and he said he has some experience now. So at the beginning he said he felt like there's no way to generate, no way to be able to generate bodhicitta. And but after meditating, studying, and again meditating again and again, then he said he has gained some understanding, some experience now. So he feels like he will be able to at least achieve the path of accumulation before he dies.
Okay, today that thinking had sure not really any chance to some Nyamlichia, Lojo Muslim Chambojimena, and some Jomare.
So like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, if we don't have enough merit, we will not be able to be successful in studying and generating bodhicitta. And so just being able to study, these texts, we should consider ourselves very fortunate. So His Holiness mentioned at that time during the teaching when he gave. So we should take the book, always study the book, always take the book with you, go back to home, just like your textbook. In the school, you have your textbook, right? You have to take home and then study. So you should consider like that. So therefore, this text is very, very powerful, very beneficial, and very profound. So if we are able to generate bodhicitta, we'll be happy all the time, in the daytime, in the nighttime, even when you're sleeping or awake, or you're walking or sitting or whatever you do, you feel always happy. Because once you have generated bodhicitta, no one will be able to cause any harm to you. So some kind of activities, we don't, it doesn't cause harm to us, right? When we do something, we don't feel pain to do that. We are able to take that, right? So whatever work you do, if you are able to bear with it, you don't feel difficult, right? If you cannot bear it, then you feel difficult, painful, all this, right? But if you can bear with it, then you don't find it difficult. So just like that, once you have generated bodhicitta, then you're always thinking about others, always caring for others, so you can take anything, so you will not feel any pain. So just like medicine, if it cannot destroy the disease, if it cannot cause any harm to the disease, then it is not helpful, right? So only if it can bring some effect or cause some harm to the disease, then that medicine can cure the disease. So once you have been able to generate bodhicitta, the genuine bodhicitta, then you will not be inflicted by any kind of harm, from outside or inside. So just like it said in the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life itself, that by meditating, by contemplating on eons, Buddha didn't see anything more beneficial than bodhicitta.
Okay.
So last time, was it on Wednesday or Sunday we talked about meditating on bodhicitta?
Wednesday. And the some shadow seems at the Kari Bas Tayang, Kamoka, some good work. Shadow said the country, Shadow some good and the country, some good.
So we might also think, what is bodhicitta, right? So we are always asked to meditate on bodhicitta, but what is bodhicitta?
Pena Amazilla Puchu, Amatala, Pula, Casete. Pena Geshe Jenny Ja, Amating, Taka, Pudi, Chedia, Solitam, Tangar was.
So if there is only one child to a mother, how much love she will have towards the child? And she will 100%, right? So even if she has to give up her life, to protect, to save the child, then she will do it 100%, right?
How about the Pug the Majesa, but that was seeing I thought the Pug the Gemono, and Ninjo in the Kablayach, Gangan Teneta. The Yamada Pug the somebody, Yamada Amate, somebody, Chimney, somebody, Madrana, passing is an Amatiga, Pug the somebody, Karo Tapshi, Samudu.
So just especially when the child is born, after 4 or 5 months, when child starts to smile and all these things, so you see a very, very affection, right? Very strong affection is generated towards the child. And at that time, if the situation arises where only one of you can live a life, then the mother will choose the child to live a life, right? She will happily give up her life, That's what I'm thinking, right? Is that true?
And that's the Amache Manujan Paget, the Todd Leg Maris Pena, Amala, Tono, Puchan, Kalaya, Amala, 담보다 강이 뭐라 소셜을 말했어. 아니 되네 배나 대상을 누마들 파티한도 파티한테 키워서 아니 미세 토알고 서와. 아니 되네 다 보고 줄로 맞춰서 가네 다 소말 말다네 딱게 모셔와야 나니 선만알에 같이 보디 가리지나 그냥 아마도 이 조심 통고였다.
So of course, if those of us who have not been mother, it will be difficult to understand that. But those who have been mother, they understand. They have this really strong feeling, towards the child. Maybe not very strong at the time when they find out that they are pregnant. But then later, as time goes by, and then when they find out, when they can see with the ultrasound or something, they can see the child inside, then they have very special feeling. And they're always thinking about the child, protecting the child, being very careful not to cause any harm to the child. So throughout this time, she goes through. And then when the child is born, then she has even more strong affection for the child. And then as the child grows, and then when it starts to open eyes, and mouth, and smile, and then becomes even more attractive, more attraction, to the child.
Today, Amati Jelaya, Pula, Sugar, Tapawa, Yomalaga, Tapawa, Yoda, Tinani, on the number China, Tamati, so chairs or
So yeah, when the child do something like smiling or talking, then the mother feels very, very happy. I don't mean like the father don't have that, but mother has more feeling. Right? Fathers of course also have that kind of feeling, but mothers have more feeling.
Today, the Dangan Simchi Chasana, Suzu, Machila, Productive, Sevanashi, Chetavana, any other thing poop, the Dangan, the poop and the Chuju, put the Kajin on the shoulder, the Kalitato.
So if you are attracted to the child and affection, how much strong affection you have towards the child, that much you will feel happy to do anything for the child. So anything you have to go through, any difficulties that you have to go through, you don't feel difficulties, right? Yeah, you are very happy, to do anything for child. So that is the kind of feeling like the mother has towards her only child. That's the kind of feeling that we should have towards all sentient beings.
In a Tandi Chalaya, that is another so by Toya Genipena, Poo, and Naptusha, Tobashita, I'm going to Labajin to Maros, Red Archington, Jambom Pachita, Yorova.
So you do anything, for the child. Right? So nowadays, of course, you have very good facilities. You have all the things, you can use to help to like cleaning up the child, right? So cleaning his snorts or poops and so forth. Right? So as you have all the diapers and wipes and all these things. So you might feel disgusting, talking about this, but like when the time when we were born, right? Back in Tibet and other places, you don't have those kind of facilities. So back in time, they don't have the wipes, they don't have diapers, so they will just use a cloth. And most of the time, the cleaning snot will be done by their mouth. They will suck it, for the child. And then the cleaning poops will be done by hand. Here we feel very disgusted, right, to do that. It's just that we're covered by the skin. If we were to peel the skin, we're all like that. We're all the same. So especially the parents, they have very, very strong affection towards the child. So no matter how much the child complains, or give them a hard time, they're able to take it, right? They can bear it. So that kind of affection is always there, even the child grows up till they die, till the parents die. They always have that affection.
마지막 밤에 심지어 다 보고 된 거야 보여요나 락바야 보여요나 미야 보던 거요나
So they always worry about the child, even from the time they are conceived, right? So when they find out that they are pregnant, then they always worry, oh, what kind of child is going to be? Will it have all the proper limbs and proper another eyes and nose and head and all these things? And there was, here you can see that before they are born, right? But back in time, it didn't have that facility, so you don't know until the child actually comes out, and then you check whether they have enough, all the complete fingers and toes and or not. And so then when they are born and then they start to grow, then they will always worry, thinking, oh, what kind of person they're going to be, whether they will have a proper education or not, will they be able to graduate or not, will they be able to find a spouse, a good spouse, like especially girls, will they be able to find a good son-in-law or not, always worrying like that. And even after they are married, then will they have a children or not? And if they have a children, will their children be good or not? And always until they die, they always have this concern or affection towards the child. So that's the kind of love the mother has towards her child. So that's why we always compare with that. When we're talking about generating bodhicitta, thinking about the other sentient beings, then that's the kind of affection that one should have towards all sentient beings, just like a mother would have towards her only child. And so before we can generate bodhicitta, that's the kind of affection that we should have towards all sentient beings, just like a mother will have towards her only child. Will you be able to generate that kind of affection towards all beings? So that's where His Holiness said, he found oh, that's not possible. How can I have, we're talking about mother has many children, that's no problem. But if there's only one child, and how much affection she will have, how much attention she will have towards it, that's the kind of attention and affection that we should have towards all sentient beings. So, and then he said, even from the young age, he has had a good grasp about emptiness. He said, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. When you're talking about emptiness, that makes sense. That's easy to understand. Makes sense. So it's easier to take it, accept it. But like bodhicitta, he said, so it's impossible. How can you have that kind of thought, like one mother has towards only her child, towards all beings?
Okay.
So if we're able to generate that kind of affection towards all beings, then we're close to generating bodhicitta. Okay. Otherwise, it's be like impossible or difficult. So has to really work hard, create lots of merits.
ane dewa dembada rangi chego ndo sambega ni lasam tela tende ta tende dunga da trawa dewa da ane dewa da dunga da traya da dewa da deya tende ki tande ga ngara la ne pamatu ta te garin sna ngara ga sanji kombato na yesare samne ta semche ta tende ki dedu ku da dewa da demba dunga da traya te che da sanji kombato pro sho sambe samlo tende samse dala shanju ko semse ta kondo.
And so led by that kind of affection, so how much more affection you have towards the child, that much more you'll be concerned about the child, right? So then when you see the child going through some difficulties, going through some suffering, then you will have very strong compassion, wishing that child to be free from that suffering. So that's the compassion. So led by affection and love, then comes the compassion. And then after that, so that's the affection and love is wishing them to be happy. And then and led by that, when you have the compassion, wishing them to be free from that suffering that they're going through, you can't bear to see even a slightest of suffering in them, and you want them to be free from that suffering. That's called compassion. So then it says, so I myself will have to do that. I myself will have to make them all happy, or lead them to the everlasting happiness, and I myself will have to eradicate all their suffering. But right now, and so that thought is called superior intention. So first you have the affection and love, then compassion, and then superior intention. Superior intention, so which that, and I myself will do that. Then you check, whether I have the power or not. Right now, I don't even have a power to do that for myself or for even one single sentient being, let alone for all beings. So who has that power? Only Buddha, or fully enlightened being has that power. So therefore, I must become a Buddha. So may I become a Buddha. So when you have that wish, wanting to become Buddha, to eradicate the sufferings of the beings and to bring them to everlasting happiness, led by the superior intention, compassion, and love, that's called bodhicitta.
Okay, nganzo nambi lila nganzo tsama sanje yores, nganzo tsama sanje kuka, ta nganzo nipa de yores ro.
So according to Buddhist system, we all have the potential to become Buddha. Every sentient being, even the insects, the crawling ants, also have the potential to become a Buddha.
아니 제가见는 tre와이나 단 tre와 tre와.
So the enlightenment is a result, right? So you has to, if you have created a cause and condition for that, then you can achieve that result of enlightenment.
어디 되는데 보나 레오드 tre와라 가리나 가도 잠블 가리나 레오드 tre와라 고 지지체도 차고라 지지치고는 레오드 조금도.
So as long as it is a result, it can be achieved, right? But you have to have all the cause and condition together. So for any kind of result, if there's no cause and condition together, then it will not right.
어떤지자 아니 어떤 셈지 터지도 산지 컴파토블 쇼니 어떤지 섬도 섬도 달라니 샤죠 셈스 텐디도 가리는 것도 섬도 땅 곰잡고 말.
And so that thought, wanting to achieve enlightenment, full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, called bodhicitta. So that's the kind of mind we should, develop and meditate on.
Okay, 야, 가리는 셈 부수도 가지고 셈 르르지 고양 보채고 되는 거 좀 봐도.
And so again, don't build up a stress, thinking, when I'll be able to do that, how am I going to be able to do that, and so forth. Just be relaxed, but try your best, to meditate and contemplate on that aspect. Sometimes, studying too much of Buddhism also can make people become more stressed, right? So that's because we we exaggerate too much. Remember, we exert too much, like too much effort or too much expectation and quick result and so forth. Those kind of things can cause that kind of stress. So like doing understanding also Buddhism. Or studying Buddhism also makes us understand what is good, what is bad. And before we never know about 10 and virtues action, what are to be cultivated, what are to be abandoned. We don't know those things. Right? So but once you have studied Buddhism, then you come to understand that. Then everything that you do, you feel like, oh, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. So everything, because before we didn't know, now we come to know them, and everything we know, we do is non-virtuous action. So then we become more stressed.
당가 간 제스와 제스마치 다 뭐바 된데 그 가탑도 가탑도체 내가 되게 부수도 못 맞지지.
So so just come to understand and say, oh, that's good, that's good. This is good. This is bad. So I know that now. So I will not do what is bad, and I'll try to do the good as much as possible. Like that. Just think like that, and then we will be not very stressful.
근데 나도 나사도 무슨 죄예요, 무슨 말은 나도 제약해요 말어.
So just like if you have identified the disease, right? If you have found out the disease in your body, then you can, find a way to cure it. If you haven't found out, there's no way you can find a cure, right? You will not even know, and you will not even, care to do anything.
Okay, 그때 시다 나주고 남백이 주고 로당도 버려. 대대다 다가 가디나 상주 섬때 섬 당고다.
So therefore, always try to think about bodhicitta as much as possible. So that's just a general about Buddhism.
Yes.
Can we just backtrack a little? Could you, before we go on, could you repeat what you said about the journal? Because
네. 단디 가디나 뎁데 당가도 journal 당가도 니뎁지와 니뎁냐지 진냠도 키로거다.
So just like you carry your diary book, you with you all the time. Wherever you go, you have it all the time. Even if you go on vacation, you carry it with you. Even of course, when you're working, you carry with you. You know what you have to do. You know all the list, thing of the things that you have to do. So you carry that all the time with you. So just like that, you should carry this book, the book on the Guide to the Bodhisattva Way of Life, the book about the Guide to the Bodhisattva Way of Life. So you carry that with all the time. So even if you're on vacation, you still will make a time to read it and then maybe contemplate on any point.
Okay, I thought there was something about keeping a practice journal there, but I guess that's not what we have.
근데 띵하도 예도는 저도 그래도 뒤어서 니마치 테마 찌니 찌는 따로 마시 뒤어서 가르치와 가라가라서요 가원도 변에 지질 때로서도 왔어.
So in the diary, you write everything, right? So what did you do today? What you ate? Where do you eat? And all these things. I mean, important things, right? So something that you wouldn't do normally. So everything that you do every day, then that's of course you do that. Now you don't write down when you peed. But if you went to a special restaurant today, then you write that down. Oh, I went to eat that. So you want to remember on such and such day at such time. I went to eat that in that restaurant.
가져는 용타 니마치가 테마치 뎁팅아치 제일 어려웠어.
So you at least one day, at least once a day, you start write something on that book, right? On the diary, on a journal. So you carry this just like you carry the book with you all the time, and then at least once a day, you open it up and read some part of it. So, but if you just carry it with you and put it in the bag, then it doesn't help. At least once a day, maybe if more, then better. But at least once a day, you should open it up and then read any part of that book.
나도 남발에 다 남발 남아서 저거는 내 깨다야지. 창대세야다, 송대세들다. 다 그때 따서는 다 뒤에까지 가서 같이 송거에 가서 양여로 한테 데도 가래.
And the keyboard some good.
So
of course, just carrying it would be, of course, it's a meritorious thing. Even just to carry it, to touch it, or to see it, or even like carry it. That's what they say. The benefit of the textbook is even if you hold it up, place on your head. Of course, people do that all the time, right? So for the holy objects, and that's meritorious also. So just like you have the blessed strings, right? Blessed thread. The protection cords or blessed threads that you tie around your neck. People think that, if you do have that, then that will protect you. And I mean, to some extent it does. So it's just like that. So in that way, of course, it's beneficial. But it will be more beneficial if you take it out, read some part of it, and contemplate on it.
Okay. Yes.
When you spoke of superior intention, when we have to say, I myself alone, how come we have to say alone? Like if there's countless bodhisattvas and Buddhas, why do we have to say alone?
말한 찍부의 책이야. 말한 찍부의 가르쳤다고 그랬어. 그래서 거기다 상계에서 전서만 모여라.
아니,
손을 건조게 찍으라.
고도 제대는 만주 생주발 소소 생주발 열었어.
That's to increase your courage. I don't want to rely on anybody else. I will do it by myself.
pena bukajiyo pena pamaji를 보고 망보이나 부kaji겠다 pama를 로바지 나나 주부치에서 내가 그게 와서 그것도 제일 좋게 말 내가 어떻게 열어왔어.
So like if the parents have many children, then one of the child takes the responsibility. I myself will take care of my parents. And of course there are other siblings who can do that too, but then they have this like strong affection or love towards their parents that they say, I myself will do that to take care of them like that.
Okay? 나도 미드거든. 미다리 뭐지 샤나 텔 진데 미드 될 샤데 진다 고깔이 빌려와. 고미 메와나 단 잠든데 판도 잠잠베선 돌아 잠샤싱으로 왔어. 그래서 미 고래.
So if you think that so I don't have to do for everybody, they will do some, and then maybe if they don't do, then who, right? So then you leave out some of, some of the things. So you just say, no, I don't know what they will do, but I myself will do all these things. So anyway, you keep the aim, aim for big, and then try your best, whatever you can achieve. So if your aim is small, you only achieve that, then that's it, that's finished. But if you have big aim, then within that range, then whatever you can reach, you have reached something.
근데 저도 뭐제 콜리지 사진 자리로 봤어. 저도 가 콜리지에 사와치는 담보는 거야 보여도 잘면. 다 하이스쿨은 좀 콜리지로 남만도 양아 주문도선다. 그 그거야 보면은 그나 로트만 도.
So most of you have graduated, right? And from the college, you have come out of college. So, but if you didn't have that intention, I must graduate. I must finish college. I must finish college. If he didn't have the intention, and instead he said, oh, if I can finish high school, that would be good enough. Then maybe you will not go to college. Yeah? So because you had that intention, that aim, the goal, and therefore you finished it.
Okay? Yes.
So I couldn't help but thinking, even His Holiness says, at least he says in his books, that everybody thinks he is bodhicitta, but he doesn't. So he said in the book, at least he has to strive very hard, right? If he can't do it, what hope do we have?
But temple which I'm not so that day, and a corona, and it's goes to you in the year and a young men don't watch in the year. So me, so good was the day not so Sanjing, number Sanjing, and so yours.
So he's not, I don't think he's saying as a, as a Buddha. He's not saying as a Bodhisattva or a Buddha, which we consider, right? We consider him as the emanation of Avalokiteshvara. So same as Avalokiteshvara, Buddha Advaita. So no, I don't think he's speaking from like the side of the sentient beings as an ordinary being. So of course, as an ordinary being, it will be difficult. And now, of course, on the other hand, he's being very humble.
But even other like tulkus, like Lama Yeshe, it's like you have to wonder. They could just be out on the beach skateboarding, and so like you contemplate progression, right? In your next life, everybody in this room, how do we know we're not going to be born in a Muslim country or whatever? You know what I mean?
가보라. 그래서 나가서 디나온다 가서 그 갈랭 그랬다 하고 라통 말았어. 나가서 다 모슬림기 농부하더니 미개번 가서 그래 하고 라통 말았어.
라통 말았어.
Yeah, we can't tell. As ordinary beings, we don't know. 나가서 레라라 그랬어.
대모도 레지 대모도 배나를 시간하게 그런 걸 아사마라서 좀 하는 거.
Yeah, of course, it depends on our karma, on where we're going to be born. And we might have created all kinds of karma in the past. So whichever karma ripens, then that will bring up the result in the next life. So therefore, it is good to like influence ourselves, habituate ourselves, to do the good things in this life. So at the time of death, we will, have a good thought, and that will activate, the good karma to be born in a good place.
까마세다 레상은 mambu슈 사샤다 사샤면다 아니 담보 슈 콜라 직 슈도 담보 bên 시간을 수익이 신도 따와이나 아니 대게 경고 들어봐서.
So whatever the karma, whichever karma is activated at the time of death, by certain kind of thoughts, and so we call it grasping and clinging and grasping at the time of death, right? So whichever thought, the grasping thought that we have at the time of that will activate the karma, and we have all sorts of karma, and we don't know which karma will be activated.
And 잠깐 지지로 살아 죽으세도 따져오시죠. 죽으세 나도 사나 죽으래서 이제 그 뭐도 위에 나보자게 맞아. 죽으세도 그 제가 맛이 어느 대시고 먹고 따치는 따치면 따주는 거 내가 생각한 말을 되게 말했어.
So tulkus, not necessarily like a very high Buddha or like Bodhisattva, not necessarily like that. So of course, they have been doing some practice, and if that tulku is continues from that life, then of course he or she has a little bit of more imprints, strong imprints and knowledges, and it's so easy to learn and do the practice and so forth. But otherwise, we are all tulkus. Tulku means reincarnation. So we are all reincarnated. We had a previous life, and from there we came to this life. So we are the reincarnation of the previous life.
No one looking for us. Huh?
I was just thinking like of a reincarnated Lama. Even it doesn't come automatically. If they don't meet the causes and conditions, then they could be a doctor or whatever. It just seems very tenuous, everything has to come together. Because if they're looking for this kid, hey, you're this, come to the monastery.
Yeah.
But it seems very easy
네,
to
again that they take off.
대만 채우지. 게임만 말이나 요말 방 말했어. 게임 채우지. 그쪽은 거 맞지거든. 아니 양한도 대자술에 양 손에 매봐야 양 코펜도 마도도 연구했어.
Yeah, so definitely depends on many conditions, like you said. If you were not searched, If somebody didn't search the Lama, then nobody will find him, right? And there has to be a group, who say, a group of students, who are always devoted to the Lama and wants to, have that. And also, of course, depends on the karma of the students also. If the students don't have a good karma, then they will not be able to find, the Lama.
Okay, now we go to text, okay? that you shanju some gomala and also son of Sako, and son of Samado and other particularly Tibetan Buddhist. And the yellow did the David on the ending of that debate of Shire, some Sagores.
And so, like I mentioned, in order to generate such kind of bodhicitta, we have to have lots of merit. If we don't have enough merit, and plus we have all these unfavorable conditions, it will be impossible for us to generate bodhicitta.
And so
if we don't have enough merit, then we'll not be able to will not be able to generate bodhicitta. Just like if we have strong immune system, then the viruses will not be able to attack us, right? But if we don't have that, a good, healthy body, then the viruses can easily attack us, and we will not be able to have a good health body. And so just like if we have a good, healthy, strong body, then we'll be able to do a lot more things with that, right? And so therefore we were talking about how to purify the negativities, the unfavorable condition, and how to accumulate merit, the favorable conditions. So I think it's in verse 32 or 33, right?
33.
33?
Yes. 23? Oh yeah, 23, sorry. Yeah, 23.
And then, so the verse 33 is offering praise to the holy objects, or the objects that one is devoted to through speech. So let's read that. With the hymns that are seas of melodies, I praise the oceans of virtues. May the clouds of harmonies of praise ascend to them in the same way.
And the young lady de la young chipana go bottom go de la young chip bottom telatene and it's Kendamamo Tonia and the young drum and impon drum and a mobo in there that the working is that.
So it's like offering a melodious song, like when you sing. So it says like the seas of melodies, right? So not just it's a little bit, but the seas is like a big amount. So usually when we do the imagination, you can imagine yourself, right? Yourself as a very huge body with hundreds and thousands of millions of head on the body, right? Then each head has like millions of tongues, and then each tongue sings like millions of melodious songs like that. You can imagine the whole oceans like that, the whole space filled with your body, many numbers of body, and all this singing very, very, very beautiful, enchanting song, and offering that to the object of veneration. Then after that is the prostration. So that's verse 24 and 25. Let's read those two verses. With the prostrations as numerous as the atoms within all the Buddha fields, I bow to the Buddha present in all the three times, to the Dharma and to sublime assembly. Likewise, I pay homage to all the shrines and to the resting place of the Bodhisattvas. I prostrate to the preceptors and to praiseworthy adepts as well.
Okay. That is should be Saje Gun, Chudan Soji Cho che la shinde kinyin tong de le de ba da shan saros dan de ga mo do de de ba ja ta chi chena cha cha se do cha cha se de ani pe ka shan la de ka na ani tembo de go la ro tembo.
So in some texts, it shows it shows as taking refuge. That prostration shows as taking refuge.
차사데 만도 라바 차 맞아. 아니 대이 짜고대 다 저런 라바 요스 나 야보초나 도보초나 가지 저런 라바 요. 이 저런 라바 얘기 예세야 그러.
And so when you take when you make a prostration, it's like a taking refuge. So you rely. Taking refuge means like to rely on that person completely. Whatever happens, whether it's bad or good, whatever happens, I rely on you completely.
And then
when we say prostration, or bow down, so you bow down to somebody who you have respect towards. And then when you make prostration, and there are many different forms of prostrations, right? The version of all our forms. That's like the full form prostration and the half form of prostration. And so these are not just made up by the teachers later, but it was mentioned by Buddha himself in his sutras, in the many sutras. And so when you make prostration, the short prostration, or the like they call it, just bending your body and then touching the five limbs, like the knees, the leg, hand, 2 legs, 2 hands, and the head. So those 5 parts, you touch the ground. And then in the full form prostration, you touch the whole body, not just the 2 legs and body. You touch the whole body and flat on the ground. So like when we make prostrations, like I make prostration before I sit down on this seat 3 times, right? As you have seen. It's making prostration to the seat because the seat has the text, scripture, right? Because the scripture is very sacred, and therefore you make prostration to the seat, to sit on that and explain the scripture. And then there are 3 kinds of prostrations, like the physical, the verbal, and mental prostrations. So especially the mental prostration is very important. If you don't have that, the thought, then the verbal and the physical will be just like performing act. So most of us, we do that, right? Performing act. And so if you have a strong respect from your mind, then your body and speech will just bend by itself. Right? And so you have a strong faith, right, and belief, in the object of veneration. That could be your guru, could be Buddha, Dharma, or Sangha, so whoever you are devoted to. And so having strong faith and respect towards that is the mental prostration. And then a verbal prostration would be like reciting prayers and praises, right? from verbally, when you make prostration like mantras or prayers and praises, when you recite that, that becomes a verbal prostration. So those two are the most important, of the prostration. So for us, it's mostly the physical prostration, right? And so when we do that, we have to know how to do it properly. And especially like when you fold hands together, you put your two hands in the palm of the two hands, and then join together. And usually you say that you have to tuck in, the thumbs inside, and form it like a jewel.
Like this.
So if you don't tuck in, then your palm is empty inside. If you don't tuck in the thumbs, then your palm is empty inside.
Okay. And they got that Piladi Kanji, that's Sanjita Shanju Sambata to the Pig.
You make the prostration or offer prostration to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the holy beings, holy objects, right?
And the Teladine Kanji take Kishim Chiwana,
so you're respecting, you're bowing down or you're respecting them. By doing that, you accumulate a great amount of merit.
And then Susu Kishim was
and just like if somebody who have respect and belief towards, if that person were to explain to us, we will listen more, right?
And
so, so we have to have respect and faith in the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. But in order to have that faith, you can't just have faith. Why should I have faith in him? Because of his qualities. Right? So once you understand his excellent qualities, then you will automatically have that faith. And so if I say, oh, this cup is very precious, very sacred, you should have respect towards it. So, if you say that, then you say why? So because you don't see any qualities in it, right?
Then Sanjay Shanju Sembe Sanjay Soto to let Temps to look some that thing when the same matter and do some learning, also then I also check the kitchen
so, but if you read the biographies of the Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, their life stories, their actions, their performance, and all these things, then you'll say, oh, this is a special being. By seeing their qualities, you will automatically have faith in them.
Okay. Well, then I mean, not Lapando, Chenango, next young to do Chishisha, Nicolani, Sanjay, go, Revered, that good double shoes and whatever.
So then usually like you can place in 3 places or 4 places, right? So so some time you explain 4 places. You fold the hand together and then you place the first one on your crown, on the top of your crown. So that is to create a cause to achieve the protrusion of the Buddha. It says the protrusion of the Buddha is like the manifestation of all the Buddha's excellent qualities. And then after that second one, you place it on your forehead.
And Sanjay mixing
so that's also, it's the Buddha's body, the holy body, to achieve the qualities of Buddha's holy body, and especially there's a coiled hair on Buddha's forehead.
And
so he has all these major, 32 major marks and 80 minor marks on his body, on his holy body. And so that's to achieve that kind of body, of the Buddha with all the 32 major marks and 80 minor marks. And then after that you place it on your throat. Throat is to achieve the excellent qualities of Buddha's speech. And then at the heart, right? So you place in the heart, that's to achieve the excellent qualities of Buddha's mind. So you leave the imprint in your mind. By thinking about that, you leave the imprint in your mind to achieve Buddha's excellent qualities of Buddha's
어
mind.
디기 아니 링아 요সম지 아니 샹체가 더 샹사가 대양성 요래.
And so it's just, that also symbolizes making prostration, like body, speech, and mind. So with the physical, mental, and the verbal prostration.
어디다 디요섬지 아니 내배상지 마음에서 다다배상지지 아니 주세대 아니 상지 주지 조세대 gendeji 아니 초라스 다 상지 주 gende지라스 다 신들긴지 단위를 리데바도 아니 신들다 두터럽지 장다 님배 소술리 파트네 아니 직다 아니 루 또바이 다샤들나 아니 르바 고고치네 어디 장상이 인사로
And so then you bend down, right, in the far prostration by just touching the 5 limbs, or full prostration by touching the whole body flat on the ground. So that's where you make prostration. And then when you make prostration, so that's like you said here, with the prostrations as numerous as the atoms within the field, within the Buddha fields. So you imagine your body, emanate your body. As many as the number of the atoms, the number of the atoms in this world. So as many as the number of the atoms, you emanate your body that many numbers, and then with all that body, imagine making prostration, to the Buddhas. Right? So to who? To the Buddhas present in all 3 times. So the Buddhas of the past, Buddhas of the present, Buddhas of the future, all these 3 times Buddha, and to the Bodhisattvas. This is and also to prostrate to the preceptors, to the gurus, and to the praiseworthy adepts as well. So anybody who is praiseworthy to make prostration, then whoever is a worthy object of making prostration, you may imagine making prostration to all of them.
어디 들이다니 차트가 당도 참 분들이 싸우는 분. 저도 샴범 싸뉴에.
So like when we do the prostration practice, that's like a serious practice of prostration where you complete a certain number of times, a certain number of prostrations. So the well-known is the 100,000. So in one, in one stretch, not like in one day or but in one stretch means like until you do 100,000 prostrations, you don't stop in the middle to do other things. So it won't take days or months. It can take. So that long you do. So you do 100,000 prostrations.
대가 다 땅샤들 땅샤 고산 들어가는 건도 아니 배고치 라파니 비문이 다 대살도를 수보장 두고 말아왔어. 땅샤 들어가는 수보차상 땅도 신사는 제와 나시는 거 수보차상 말. 자타고 와.
So that usually when people do that practice, they usually do with the full prostration, like the flat body on the ground. You can of course do the short or the half prostration where you touch only the 5 limbs. You can do that too. But doing a full prostration with your body, they say like the log of the tree, when it falls on the ground, how it falls, it touches the whole thing, right? So your body has to be flat and touching the whole the whole body, whole part of the body touching the ground. So like that. So that's what you do, when you do the 100,000 prostrations. And so the reason why you want to do flat is because then you can cover more ground. So the more you cover, and the more merit you get. And so however many number of atoms you cover, that many number of merit you accumulate. So therefore it is said that people with the big body has more benefits. Then maybe people with fat also has maybe a little bit more benefit. A wider.
Yeah, take a trio marine, 3 shots of Calicane, Shaman,
and then also when you do the prostration, there's a proper way of doing, right? So you throw yourself flat on the ground and then you get up immediately. Some people they get tired or lazy and they just lie down. That's not good again. You create negative karma. So sometimes one in the intention to do with the intention to do a virtuous practice, if we don't know or don't do it properly, then it may end up becoming non-virtuous action. And so when you place your hand down on the ground, you shouldn't spread your fingers. If you do, then you might be you're going to create karma to be born as a birds. And then also you cannot do like this, then you create a karma to be born as animals, hoof, like a horse, goats, like those kind of animals. So you always have to be relaxed, not like doesn't have tight, but relaxed, right? And then palms relaxed, and then place it straight on the ground. Yeah.
Okay. So
if you are lazy and tired and feel lazy and then just lie down like that, then you again create a karma to be born as a snake. Animals, like they crawl on their whole body. So yeah, those are the things that we have to be aware of, so that we don't turn our positive karma into negative. So some people might think that, then better not do any prostration. That's not what we meant. So that's very, very powerful practice, right? So you can create so much merit and so much native karma can be purified by doing this practice. So especially it becomes an antidote to our delusion, arrogance.
Okay?
So like if we don't have respect towards the person or being, or the object, then we will not respect that person, right?
Okay,
So, so that symbolizes respect. Making prostration symbolizes, or bowing down, or making prostration symbolizes respect. And like in ancient time in India, there was so much that the children have so much respect towards their parents. They always make prostration or bow down to their parents. Now I don't know about these days. And in this country, it's non-existent, right? If you ask your children to make prostration to their parents, they will call another one.
So
yeah, in this country, there's that kind of respect, it's not there towards the parents. Our children don't have that kind of respect, and so therefore there's so much problem, among the children and parents. So not all the parents are bad, right? But there are some, of course, there are some parents who are bad, and because of that, then they think that all the parents are bad. So then they take this right away, from the parents, to teach the children. But in this country, but the good thing about it is that you can explain to them and they will listen to you. So you can make the children do by telling them. And maybe in India by slapping them or by beating them. But here you do. Yeah, that children are very good. That some parents are very, very good in keeping, in disciplining the children, right? By talking to them very nicely, and children listen to the parents. Very good. So like when we grew up, we grew up with pinches in our butts. Have you heard about that? Pinching in the butts? Have your parents done that? In the crowd, they don't want to slap you, so they just pinch you quietly. And then you feel the pain and then you behave, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, back in those countries like India, Nepal, Tibet, the children don't complain about that. So if they don't even think like bad about the parents when the parents beat them. They all say, parents doing this, to help me, to discipline me like that. They never think that, oh, my parents hate me and they want to torture me like that. They never think like that.
마 주주걸래요. 내 바라만이지나 아마만이다 셨다만요. 나시 아미카 니무 쇼요. 바라 점선 또들 쇼. 또라. 가래 글라파 가래는 뱀스.
So like in my case, my parents, my mother wasn't rough. She always very gentle, but my father was very rough. He would beat me, and whatever comes in his hand, he would throw at me. Sometimes it can be a stone or a stick or whatever comes in his hand. He would hit that, and hit me with that.
옛날에 나도 루소에 됐던 거든나. 가능은 밤마거든 부들이는 부은 초라다도 부비 도시나가 니라다나지 부은 초라다 요말지까지 요타고 문제스.
So, but even beating in that way, doesn't seem to like cause any damage to the child's mentality. And they will never think like, oh, my fathers were very cruel, and father was very cruel and very torturous, like that. Never think like that.
어떻게 가져다 내 꼴에 선도 너무 쪽이 없으나 빨라 선도 너무 쪽을 아마 쪽 말해.
Yeah, so I've been pinched many times. By my father and my mother.
Question. It seems that many teachers, at the end of their teaching, they don't do prostrations at the end. Is that just a particular? Is there a particular reason why they don't? Or they prostrate before the teaching, but not after.
제 남주 시다 제거래.
The teachers
The teachers.
to the
Students. I mean, Geshe, you don't either. I mean, I'm just wondering, is there a particular reason? Because it's not just you. It's Dr. Children doesn't do it. Rabina, Venerable Rabina doesn't do it.
가디서. After teaching is what?
After the teaching, there's no prostration.
Teacher. No, teacher 말씀인데.
So is that because it's the teacher? Because of the role of the teacher?
그 춤도게 말was. 될 우수도 요 말씀.
Yeah, there's no system like
Yeah.
that. No custom like that.
Oh, there's no custom. It's just
Yeah.
the teachers.
당부변에 추도 마시면 해라야 아니 다 추도 가시하고는 추도 따치 모두 터들어 샤스면 돼 룩소요레스. 대 조조다 가시하고 추도 기심.
So that's for respect towards respect towards the teaching. Your whatever teaching you're explaining, you make prostration to the throne where you're going to sit and explain that teaching, explain that text. So that's respect towards the text.
야 대화 태우가 요소 강가 다른 것도 돼 가시기 다른 것도 주지 가실 다른 것도 돼. 근데 나도 또 다른 거는 가려나 거는 대나지 제가 돼 나도 왔어.
So, there's text from Kimber. Kimber text answer. There's enormous difference between hitting and beating. Our culture understanding of parents who beat their children is that beating includes hatred and cruelty and abuse. So there's the hitting the shuwa da dongwa ni la kyabachira yoras. Shuwa da dongwa ni. Anzo nyata tangsera. Ma dongla kana shnya tang ma do chidan sera. Shuwa da dongwa ni la kyabachira yoras. ane da dela buguza dela donya jora degi dongba dela pama ge donya di ane pama ge donya de bugula dene garsa chi shedan da ane nosum ge tsane donggo abuse che tijene donggo ras this was dongba dela dele tsigorsa yeah, so maybe this is because of the different culture, right? So it says this understanding of our culture, understanding our parents who beat their children. So maybe it's so in our culture, like in Tibet and Nepal, India, and the culture, if the parents beat, they don't think the children, like the parents, are beating out of hatred or cruelty or abuse.
Okay,
Oh yeah, so not making prostration at the end, right? Maybe they don't need more marriage.
다 남주에게도 대chuyên 담아는 양 담배가래 양 띵띵 띵띵
대해서 말 뭐라 티와드다 라마게단 담아 차사요. 담고는 차사요라 담가 삼아 차사라. 아는 더 절도는 차사요.
어때 무슨도 문제 세팅 그냥 보면
Yeah, so after you make prostration, at the beginning you make prostration to the throne, especially to like we talked about respect, to not have that arrogance. The respect, when you have respect, you don't have the arrogance. And so, like especially when you're sitting on a high seat or throne, then you always have this arrogance. Oh, I'm higher than anybody else, like that. So especially to reduce that arrogance, then you make prostration at the beginning. But at the end, you don't need. It's not required. For us, when you make prostration, you want to make prostration to receive it, and then you have to make prostration, to thank, for having, taught the Dharma like that. So for the students, it's different. And then there's also culture where you make prostration usually, but at the end of the teaching and the last day of the teaching, you don't make prostration to the guru because that's just like for the auspiciousness of having the guru come back. So like he's saving the prostration for next time. So you keep the prostration for next time, so the guru will come back and then you can make prostration. Like that. That's just a culture, or auspicious things like that.
Okay.
But you can still make prostration. I will make prostration. I will make again prostration when they come back. But I want to make it now also to make great merit like that.
Okay.
It's not that if you make prostration, the teacher will not come back. It's not like that. Right? Some people think like, oh no, don't make prostration. No, it's like as if the teacher is not going to come back.
야, 되네도 나도 배나 시지도야 즉 나도 배우는 거는 배나. 대리지진의 상이 니마 따바 대제고 그 네바 개요 말었어. 그 뒤에 답당 고유다 강가산 저다. 지지도 되면도 직지선은 자세 자제 대나지 전도도. 대 인심시 공 받대. 답 대당 아니 값다 저도 뚜니 채우러 왔어.
So you don't have to be like everything doesn't have to be like black and white. You can have gray some part. So depending on the time and the place and people, you can be more flexible. So you don't have to be like always like that. And then why teacher makes, why the student makes, there's a different reason, right? Why student makes is different reason than why teacher makes. Why don't teacher make, and so what therefore, why parents beat children, children can't beat the parents. That's different. Right? Oh, parents beat children, so therefore children can beat parents also. No, that's not like that.
대들 가지 다 파셔보라 내가 지도가 끊는 지내니 다 일하다나 뭐니 대하고 말해. 세일하다나 대하고 말해.
And so in any culture, if you're beating the child, is out of the cruelty or abusing, then of course it's not good, right? And if you're doing it out of compassion to teach the children, to discipline the children, then that's okay.
Okay.
So no matter whose culture it is.
알아. 이제 다 너한테 나한테 산이 다시 강경 오고 잘래 걸어왔어.
So if you say that, if you say here, if you say that it's okay to beat, then maybe everybody will come against you. So that's a different culture, right? So whatever more fits to your culture, then you do that.
Yeah.
So whatever is more fit to your place, when you're in this place, whatever is more fit in this place, you do that. Oh, it was fit in that place, so now you have to do that. That doesn't have to be like that. Whatever is more fit to this place and to this culture, do that.
Okay? Any? Yes.
When you're doing a full prostration, there can be a release in that way. And so as long as you're mindful, like staying there mindfully maybe a little longer, seems to me that could be beneficial. Not just hanging out there and relaxing, but, because that you really, when you do that, you're really letting go of a lot.
어디서 싸우다는 게 알았어.
그러면 아주 삼도 들은 바 대제는 검점한다. 상계 상마들 삼다는 것도 좀 보고라.
대삼다는 게
좀 보고라.
나 선로마다 소소 깔아가야 거니까 땡땡이 말아요.
Yeah, if you're thinking, if you are contemplating, like maybe like you want to imagine all the gurus one by one, that you're making prostration to and bowing, touching their feet and all the Buddhas like that. Maybe that might take a little time, right? So that concentration, that visualization, might take a little bit more time, and that's okay. In that case, it's okay. Not out of laziness and like feeling tired and lazy, and then you just want to lie down like that. That's not good. Yeah.
Okay. What is that? Tamboji, that we better song. I just send the Jetana, Chodena, Da Sham, Charles, Gombo Tejan, no one, Tujunala, Shantal, also on the was done. Neither any Shajam just said any Shajam simply Jelaya going to us, Nije Chambo down, any G Shamba down, any Dennis Sum down, or to the Koyores.
So likewise, I pay homage to all the shrines and to the resting places. Karsa, Tambudi?
And the Shancho Sim Jenam Send, the Jesan, the Kunudesigua, Shancho Sim Diego, Shancho Sim Kora Kochori, Shancho Sim Down, Shancho Sim Diego Jo, and the Chambada, Nije down. Anything that Dennis Sum Latoba, what is the Kochoris?
So I think it's the resting place. The shrines and to the resting place of the Bodhisattvas. Chanju Semba yore. Chanju Semba yishi.
Chanju Semji yes,
Semgi shire.
Chanju Semji yishakana, Chanju Semji Jedakores. Jedakana, and it doesn't need Jimbo Panamano, or much with the law, and need Jimbo Shantayora. And Dinalani Dennis Sumsland. Chanju Semji and the Chanju Semji get it, touching with Dennis sometime.
So I don't know. So this should be maybe Bodhisattva, the shrines, because of the church. Because church am not there, church am not close.
Church the Tiwara, church down. To the Shanta is.
Ale, chanju sem gishi. You stop to the Tamadra. I pay homage to the shrine and to the resting places of the Bodhisattva. Then tell the Lama they got the Chaza about Samira.
어디
Lama 찾아와보세요. Did you stand around?
캠보드에 대해나 어디나 상담을 신이 따다다.
Did you stand around? Did you do that?
냠됐다.
So it's paid to the homage to the shrines and to the resting places of Bodhisattva. 그래서 장주 선바 슈사스가 뭐래?
장주 생께서
장주 선바 슈사라 내가 차선 데도 되고.
데도 되고. 내가 야대 장주 생께요. 아니 샤샤선 계시게 강사 소소 기비시니 다나 생게는 초된다 달로 샤타긴 저 빈제션 들려놨어.
And we taught the relics and the resting places. Of course, the ashram refers to the places of the Buddha's birth and so on. Ale.
아니 샤샤선 계사가 사쇼를 야시 저래.
사쇼를 어디에? 징스가 살아. 장주 선바.
샤샤 샘 계사가 사쇼. 샤샤 샘바 슈사가 사쇼라.
그래. 빌라도.
근데 레와나 트렌도.
네.
샤샤 샘 계세 사쇼.
어디? 단단한 장주 샘 세대.
네, 샤샤 샘지 전남세.
어디?
대셔셔서 제사데 아니 샤샤 샘 주비.
근데 어느 손에?
샤샤 샘지 전나스. 샘된 주비 저대 대화치고 되냈음스. 샤샤 샘 주비가 저 안에 대화치고 되냈음. 다도 이제 전부 샴바 어디 들어와?
아니?
다나 지금 대개라 계시가 강사 기비신년. 다나 지금 계사가 사쇼.
어디라 사저도 올라셔. 내가 되는 거저 초된데 초된서 내가 저
사쇼도 아니
초점서 올라다.
초점도 아니 대 사쇼라 고쳐라.
계사서라서. In the Tibetan text, it's also talking about the basis of bodhicitta. The basis, it's like referring to the cause, of the bodhicitta. So the cause that enables one to generate bodhicitta, like the loving kindness, compassion, those are the cause of the bodhicitta, right? Superior intention. All these are cause of bodhicitta. And also the scriptures, the scriptures of the three Pitakas or the three baskets of teachings that also explains about the method or the instruction for generating bodhicitta, and those can be also cause, the basis for bodhicitta or cause for generating bodhicitta. So you can make procession then. And then resting place also here it mentioned Also a resting place, a place where the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dwell, where they stay and where they're born, where they did their practice. All those places can be resting place.
And on a Sanji go, and song, and Choten as one, and chanting.
And then like also and also, the Buddha's, the representative Buddha's body, speech, and mind. The Buddha's bodies will be statues, the speech will be the scriptures, and the mind will be the stupas, right? So those also to those, you make prostrations.
And
then it says, I make I prostrate to the preceptors. Preceptors are those lamas, right, the gurus, who give you precepts. Like if you are a fully ordained monk, then all the ordinations that you receive from the guru, that preceptor. Or if you are a lay practitioner, then there are lay vows, right? The refuge vows and lay vows, or the day vows that you receive from that guru. That's the preceptor. So, from those to those gurus and to those preceptors, you make prostration. And then we also inside here we have all the representative Buddha's body, speech, and mind, right? The statues, the scriptures, and the stupa. We have a stupa here, and also we have stupa outside. So these are the holy objects that you make prostration to.
And the two said, Kanji, Karosondo, Koyata, Karo, Mayala shooting, Koyata. Mebaso by shooting what to let to look and dance Sanjedo Shantu some of the Chatanko Roya.
And
to Senator Mevas Picture was. The little COVID of Tata Mariba Mevas sorry, Sanjedo Shantu Samba, and to the Shantan.
And those who are engaged in practice, like in the practice of overcoming the delusions, like the Bodhisattvas, the healers or the realizers, Bodhisattvas and Buddhas, they're always engaging in the practice to overcome delusions. To them, you also make prostration. You can make prostrations.
Okay? Then that Kanji Suzu, then Kishiba, Kishiba, Kanga, but the Kishina Suzu give us.
And so anybody who is worthy of making prostration, to them you make prostration, then you create merit for yourself by doing that.
Suzu, Pamara, Yobujina give us Sakandua, Nepal Yobujina, give us Sakandua.
Just like you create merit, if you serve your parents, if you serve the people who are sick, you create merit like that.
Okay. There is a order to Shanta said they can give up Chimushu Savio at the Shanta Lagoon to Bass and Rova.
And so by making prostration, we accumulate a great amount of merit, and therefore you praise by making prostrations.
And Mikashima to Shanta shall go your Markana, Chitanga. Can you move Jemato the Mundo, Chitomodo, Shanta, this is also Maushu, Kinderwater, Tomodo.
And so some people, they find difficulties making prostration because then they feel like they're putting down, themselves lower.
They should have done a shot to
so, but according to Buddhism, it's good to make prostration. So to the praiseworthy or the worthy object of venerations.
And not pay Lusola, and the Dawa, Mambo, Loch in the chant and the Sasala with the Mambo Yoris.
And in Tibet, there's a culture, or the custom of people making prostration all the way from their hometown. Could be like for months and months, they're walking and making prostration all the way, to Lhasa.
To the Tonyo and Della
So some people they have this what do you call that? Callus? Yeah, that grows, from making too many prostrations. So there's one guy who made prostration all the way from Tibet to India, Bodh Gaya. That's enlightenment. You see, maybe you can search on YouTube. People making prostration all the way to Bodh Gaya, and you will find it.
Yeah,
In Tibetan culture, it's very, very popular thing to do. And many of the Asian Buddhist countries, it's very popular also. So mostly religious people. It's popular with all the religious people, even in like the Christianities and like in the churches, you see people bowing down, right? And then also in Indian culture, right? Hindus, they touch the hand on the holy object and then they put on your foreheads or to your heart like that. So that symbolizes a respect. In some form of prostration, so making, symbolizing respect.
Okay, yes.
I saw on YouTube there was one where these people were sliding. I don't know if is that what they do too?
Mm-hmm.
They have the things on their hands and they have the things on their knees.
Yeah.
And they slide.
Yeah, they slide.
Is that too? Is that
to
cover as much ground?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you do the full prostration, that's how you do it. You slide and then you flat yourself.
Yeah. But then it's a
yeah, sometimes they slide to quite a distance.
Yeah. Like that. That tradition
so these are all, a method for accumulating merit, right? So by doing this, we create a lot of merit. So it's something, good to do.
Okay. Any other questions? The
Tibetans walking out there, circumambulating the stupa and gompa, they're creating merit by walking. Circumambulation, is also another way of accumulating merit by circumambulating the holy places, because this is a gompa, with shrine room, right, with all the holy objects inside here, and then the stupa out there. So when they circumambulate that holy place, they create merit also. So pilgrimage, is the place, where it's not going around the places of the holy objects, right? Holy beings, holy objects, whether it's holy beings, that came and did their practice and achieve, certain kind of realization in that place. That's called a holy place. So you pilgrimage that place. And so also if it's a place where the Buddhas have appeared in that place, and then you build a closeness with that Buddha. And so like Bodh Gaya, the place where Buddha gained enlightenment, is so many people every year they go there all the time. So of course there's a reason for that. Otherwise, they will not all these people will not just run towards that place for no reason. They're not stupid, right? The facilities there are very, very bad. Not a good place. Not very poor, right? And hygienic wise, it's not very good. But people all go there to pilgrim. And also it said that more difficult it is, that much more you create merit also. More difficult it is, more merit you create.
Okay. I think then we stop. If you have no questions. Okay? Okay, thank you. Uh-oh. It's you or me? I think it's you.